This is Sunday Night Champion Edition. Brought to you by Drill Ho Video Sticks. Drill Ho Video Sticks, now with Form Factor. The following sporting event has been officially sanctioned by the FGCB. And now, introducing your host, Scarequotes.
Thank you. No, really, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boys and girls, boomers one and all, you are the FGC Boomers. My name is Scarequotes, and it is my distinct pleasure to be your commentator for this evening's festivities. The first installment of the World Warrior Federation Tournament Series. We start with Street Fighter II Champion Edition, a fighting game that was released on March 13th, 1992, and today, on October 1st, this good year of 2023, we are still playing this game. Heralded as the oldest viable competitive 2D fighting game today, it has one of the largest player lobbies in Fightcade at all hours of the day, with strong player bases in both South America and South Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, there's really no other way of putting it. Good games never die. Can I get an amen up here in the chat for that? Good games never die. Amen. Loving that. Amen. Loving seeing that. Again, the music is a vibe. I also agree. I wanted that music to play forever, but unfortunately, we do have some games to play. Excellent. Absolutely. Good stuff here. We're playing some old good games here. That's what we do here at Boomer City. Tonight, we have some fierce competitors on today's stage. Some of you have been playing fighting games for over 30 years. Some of you will be playing against someone who's been playing this game since before you were in diapers. How humbling. And some of you yet have just started playing this game for this event tonight. Hope we didn't twist your arm on that one. I hope you stick around, well past the point you find out this game doesn't have throw teching. Which for some of you, that point might be right now. This is probably a good time to remind you that there are no refunds in this dojo. Once you register, you are in for good. All right, but all jokes aside, let's get down to brass tacks, okay? This is a beginner-centric event, but its doors are open to all oncomers and challengers. Some of the competitors today I have had the privilege of watching or playing with myself, and others are total wildcards. Regardless of what you see here tonight, I need to remind everyone, both competitors and spectators, of the currency we exchange here at FGCB, which is kindness and compassion. Whether this is your first time playing this game, or you're a veteran in your own right, this night is for you to celebrate good games, good matches, amongst even better company. Let me take a pause now to afford you all to make a silent, anonymous vow to our fellow competitors. And if you're with me, you'll do the same. This vow is as follows. Number 1, I will not shame nor grin at the hardships my fellow boomers face in tonight's tournament. Number 2, I will celebrate and cheer for every hardship overcome, big and small. For our competitors who are fighting tonight, that in and of itself is a victory, and everything else is just icing to an already delicious cake. Number 3, no matter the outcome, we respect our opponents. They are our family and friends and dear ones. Friendly rivalry is welcome, but nothing too ferocious. Number 4, I vow that as a price of admission to this glorious event, I will be as obnoxious in the Twitch chat as I possibly can in reverence to my fellow comrades, but also to help the algorithm too. And 5, and lastly, as a fellow boomer, I will cherish this moment and all the time spent with those that make our lives richer and filled with color. None of us know how long we have left on this earth, but we can be in the moment now, here. And for what better way to spend a Sunday night is there than watching old curmudgeons mash some buttons and beat each other up with some virtual avatars? Can I get an amen on that one? Love to see it, Ghost. Thank you. Excellent. Amen. That's what I love to see. Fantastic. All right, so we know the rules. We know how things are going. Let's continue off with how the rest of today is going to look and feel like. So, this is a battle, a ranking battle, a round robin, or a ranbat for short. Each competitor today will have a chance to play against every other competitor on today's stage. We'll be going in rounds, starting with round 1 in just a moment, and waiting for all scores to be tallied before we move on to next each successive round. I'll be selecting a random certain matches to watch, so you can expect to see a good selection of players tonight. Remember, per your vows, spectators, to watch your manners. Keep in mind, once you select your first character in your first match, you are honor bound to stick with that character for the entirety of the tournament. No character switching or counterpicking here. Failure to follow that rule will result in disqualification from the event. You have been warned. And just to be clear, this is a casual event, so no one loses in tonight's event. No elimination. So all of you will have a chance to play and play each other. All competitors will be reporting in their scores using the Challenge app itself, either on the web or on your mobile devices. And the competitor with the most points after all rounds are completed is the victor. It's really that simple. Or is it? The truth is, there's a lot more to it. There's one little wrinkle, because it wouldn't be a Scare Quotes event without that. You see, in addition to your competition stats, which are very important, in between rounds, Scare Quotes, that's me, we'll be drafting up quiz time questions for our competitors to respond to in the Fightcade chat specifically, which you'll see on my screen in just a few moments. These questions will give competitors of all skill levels a chance to earn points for every correct answer, along with more points if they guess correctly first. Spectators on Twitch and my humble audience will have a chance to participate as well, so be sure to fill up the chat with what you think the answers will be. Oh, and I'm going to warn you right now. Google will not help you in these trivia questions. In fact, I'll tell it to you first right here. Some of these questions, if you try to Google them, you will only find incorrect answers on the web if you search them up. These facts go deep into the intricacies of the history of Champion Editions released as we celebrate this game, which has seldom been documented except in very select Japanese company files and Japanese player circles. If you use Google for your answers, I will know. You have been warned, so consider that a courtesy. So that's the game. Those are the rules. Let me pause just a moment as I peruse our Discord chat and our Twitch chat, make sure we're all good to go. Any questions, concerns, comments about our event as we move forward. Depressed Met fan, if you don't guess Shaq Fu for every question, I will be absolutely upset. Yes, Zangief just has 5-5 matchups. All of his matchups are very well balanced in this one. Google will provide the American heresy of answers. That is correct. What is Shafu? Great question. Someone answer that. And no counterpicking is godlike. You are correct. For this particular match, once you pick your character, that is it, my friends. All right, let's go over to Discord chat and see how everyone's doing there before we get started proper. Excellent, excellent. Looks like we are doing good. Fantastic. All right. So, with that out of the way, I want one more thing I want to just shout out before we get started with today proper. And it's a really important thing. We celebrate our family here at FGCB, and there's one thing I want to just get out of the way real quick. Let's all give a big, huge, massive round of applause to our legendary Thrillho for designing tonight's event. Not only did he design all of the graphics and the art that you are seeing today, he rallied the troops. He's keeping score for everyone, and he's competing with you all tonight. What a legend. Big ups to Thrill for keeping the retro Fightcade scene alive here at FGC Boomers. Go ahead and give him a round of applause. Give him a big thank you. Thrill is a boss. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. What a legend. Without him, we wouldn't be here. And so with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show on my screen in just a moment what you'll be looking at. You will see here that we have our rankings. We have several different rounds. Ash will be fighting against Dad Radish. Shaq the Great will be fighting against Hanuk. Lunatic will be fighting against Depressed Met. Gianellis will be fighting against Thrillho for your first round. And we're only doing one round each time. So once you complete your rounds, that is it. This is a 1st to 2 round robin. So the expectation is that you complete your 2 wins. And once you do, report them in Challenge and then wait for the next round to complete. So again, you have your rankings right there. You see it on Challenge. I'm going to showing my screen right now as well. We all have access to the chat. All of us are in there. And we already have a match starting. So if you haven't started already, let's go ahead and get started with the festivities, my friends. I couldn't be more excited for this. This is great. Let's champion everyone. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be watching a lot of different matches at different times. I'm going to be popping in and seeing what the matches are and showing it on Twitch for everyone. So let's everyone begin your round 1 matches now. And I'm going to pick at random to watch someone. I mean, Shaq the Great and Hunuk are already at it, but I mean, I'm tempted. I am tempted. All right, let's see how Shaq the Great and Hunuk are doing. Let's see what their first character picks are. We've got good old Ken and good old Zangief. Oh, I've played Hunuk's Zangief. This is absolutely not something you want to be missing out on. Both in red, by the way, on the worst stage ever. Very red tinted. I think that's an option select for both characters. Just so you know, in Street Fighter 2, there really is no way to pick stages in this game without using a modification of some kind. And also a fun fact, Blanca's stage is the longest stage in the entire game. That is right. Every single stage in Street Fighter 2 has different widths to it, and there are advantages and disadvantages to being on the appropriate stage here. Looks like Hunuk is doing them with the SPD tick, but not quite dead, but not quite a magic pixel, but then lands it with a very sweet, normal leg attack there. It's okay. Rounds end fast here. I can't wait to see what Shaq the Great's going to be bringing here. You know, Shaq the Great has been a fantastic contributor to the retro Fightgate chat, especially in Third Strike. I'm really excited to see what Shaq can bring here on the table. Shaq actually did really well in a local tournament for Third Strike after lots of labbing here. Only done thanks to the mentorship here known at FGCB. All right, so Shaq the Great's getting a feel and understanding that there's a scary range you want to maintain with a good Zangief player. And look at that. Doesn't miss. Hunuk is landing that SPD. There's the tick and the miss. But Shaq is going ahead and capitalizing on that. But a failure to crouch low resulted in a crouching roundhouse to death. Hunuk takes the first round, but it was a good match all around. And Shaq has to stick with Ken, but the good thing is, on paper, Ken does have the advantage. Oh yeah, Hunuk's using that trade power there. Zangief can trade, take the damage, but he'll do more damage. He wants that. Oh, excellent adaptation by Shaq there. You see, in this particular game, Zangief does not have a lariat that has any kind of lower body invincibility. His lariat isn't very good, so go ahead and sweep him to death. Oh, you see that crouch tech? Oh, I love the use of that standing light kick to really kind of stick it out there for a long time. Keep Zangief away. Oh, this is tough. This is a tough situation, but we got a normal throw there for the win. Tough match. Again, we can all blame the stage and the colors. If you just pick different colors, this wouldn't be a problem. Again, I am loving how Shaq is using those normals. Really trying to push Zangief away. But here's the thing, Zangief doesn't have a whiff animation. And if you're in that vortex window, you get thrown, baby. Hunuk is applying the pressure. He doesn't care about fireballs today. And that is it. Hunuk takes 2 wins there against Shaq. Shaq did a great job fighting against that. Absolutely fantastic. Big round of applause for both players on that one. And looking to see, we got a couple other matches happening. Let's see where we're at with Dad Radish and FGCB Ash. If anything's playing, I probably missed the tail end of it. Yep, probably did. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. All right, so it looks like Ash is using Ryu, and that's a solid choice. According to Riz1, or Riz1, he believes that Ryu is actually the best character in the game. I don't agree with that, but you know what? There's a compelling case to be had here. Guile has the best 3-hit combo in this game. A good fireball battle is what I love to smell in the morning. Oh, whiffing that fierce dragon punch, but didn't punish it. Sonic Boom! That deep voice, love to see it. Oh man, it's anyone's game. This is razor thin. Oh, and Dad Radish took it back. Good on you, Dad. That's right, Ghost. It always begins with Ryu. Everyone's starter is Reeds. Fisher Price, my first fighting game character. Again, Ash is applying that pressure correctly with those fireballs, and Dad Radish wants that damage. He wants to get in. And this is a slower game. This is one of the slowest fighting games you can play, so it can be pretty tough to adjust to the charge time requirements for Guile's Sonic Boom to really push back on that. But again, I love that Sonic Boom and to jump in, a great way to apply pressure, but Ash is saying, nope, I have the answer to that. I'm not worried about you. Ooh, rapid fire jabs, a Street Fighter 2 trademark. Ooh, the tricky roundhouse that does it twice. Ooh, this is close, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, jump in. Maybe that was supposed to be a jump throw? Oh, it's so close. Who could it be? Ash is applying pressure. It's anyone's game. Could Ash take it? Oh, we are 1-1, ladies and gentlemen, in this particular matchup. Closing the knot. Good job on Dad applying that pressure. That's right. There it is. Brionic says everyone starts with Ken. Yeah, some people do. All right, we're in the 1-1. It's anyone's game here. We've seen really strong zoning from Ash, and we have seen a fearless Dad just come in. Love that fake flash kick. You know what? It's not fake. It's real. It's just not in your mind. Hitting that roundhouse. Does not care that it might be unsafe. You know what? That's the best kind of unsafe. The fearless kind. Ooh, crouching strong. It's a pretty strong move right there to kind of pressure them into not moving, but Ash is not hearing it. He wants to get that jump in. We're seeing those KOF tendencies come through. Hurricane kick. Ooh, I love that zoning. Love that poking. Love that pressuring. Love that walking forward and just saying, Oh, again, with the jump up kick, might have been a throw. Pretty solid option there. All right, can Ash take it or can Dad bring it back? Ken's HP hitbox in this game is criminal. You are correct, yo. You are correct. Thank you, sir. Let me know if that fixes it. Oh, like not. Hold on. Thanks for keeping me honest about the audio. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. All right. I missed that, but Ash took it. It was a close game between both. I love seeing it. Congrats to both my victors. All right. Looks like we've got our scores in here. Let's see where we are at. And I love, again, Dad Radish, the GGs. It's always good games here in Boomerville. Let's see where we are. What's our standing so far? Do I have to refresh it? Does the app not want to refresh accordingly? That's no fun. All right, so I didn't get to catch all of the matches, but so far we've seen Lunatic play, we've seen Gian Ellis play, Hanuk, Dad Radish. It says that he hasn't played, but he certainly has played. So be sure to put your scores in, ladies and gentlemen, to see where our standings are. It's looking pretty tight so far. All right, looking at the set wins. Looks like we've got one. We've got Lunatic, Gian Ellis, Hanuk, and FGCB Ash having won their set wins. Dad Radish, Shaq, Thrillho, and Depressed Met Fan haven't won a set yet, but that's okay. They're still coming. You'll see the points on the right side as well. 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1 all across the board. I'm excited. Hope you're all excited. That was just round 1. And you see, before we get into round 2, we need to mix things up just a little bit, if you don't say so myself. You see, we like to have a quiz for every single round if we possibly can, to kind of make sure that for those of you who are playing, you all have an opportunity to win and also learn something today on the celebration of Champion Edition. How this is going to work is I'm going to explain the question via commentary, but I'm also going to drop the question into the Fightcade chat specifically. And your job is to vote for your response, and you only have one option. You only have one choice. You can't do multiple choices. It's just one choice. Whoever gets the right choice, the right selection for the question, gets points. And whoever gets the correct question first gets even more points. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So let's start things off real easy and breezy. Street Fighter II, the Champion Edition, was released in arcades on March 13th, 1992. As I said to you before, you all know this. This is new information. You're all experts here at this point. Here's the thing, though. It wasn't distributed worldwide. You see, the United States got their hands on the game first, along with fancy, large, dedicated arcade cabinets that would be colloquially known as Big Blue machines. I have a few of those. Here's the question. How long after the United States received this killer update to the world's most popular, at the time, fighting game, did Japan get it released on their shores? And you'll see it in chat as well as my screen right now. Your options are A, Japan received the game at the same time as the US. B, 10 days after the US received the game. C, 6 weeks after the US. D, 2 months after the US. E, 3 months after the US. And F, they never received CE at all. Again, I told you before, if you Google this, you will get a wrong answer. So make sure you know your stuff. Pick the best choice that you think. You only get to choose one option. No takesy-backsies. It's going to be points for every single person that puts in a correct answer. You get points that are going to be added manually. Thrill is keeping track of that. And then you're going to get more points if you get it right and you're the number one person to get it, the first person to get it. I'm seeing some answers now. C, 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 and D. It's okay. We'll give you some time to think about that. Once again, how long after the United States received this killer update to the world's most popular, and at the time, fighting game, did Japan get it released on their shores? How far apart? Did they receive it at the same time? 10 days after? 6 weeks after? 2 months? 3 months? They never received it. And again, go ahead and pop in a chat for me, my Twitch friends. What do you think your answers are? Oh yeah, great. Good call out. Let me make sure I can share my screen on that one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There you go. You see I just popped it in. Unfortunately, Fightcade likes to format it a little funny, but you will see all the available options there. And I'm seeing a selection of different answers coming through. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, excellent. Good stuff. The competitors have already voted on it, and I'm seeing a couple different answers in the Twitch chat. But we're actually going to get to the answer after the next round. So stay tuned for what the answer to that particular question is until after the next round. So moving forward now, we are now on round 2 of our round bracket. Again, we're finished round 1. We have our winners here. And round 2 begins. Depressed Met, you're fighting against Gian Ellis for a first to 2. Thrillho against Ash. Hanuk versus Luna. Dad Radish against Shaq. Go ahead and conduct. That's right, Luna. I am a son of a you-know-what. We'll get to those answers in a little bit. Don't you worry. You'll get your answers. But for right now, you got a match to fight. A match to fight against Hanuk. So go ahead and start your matches. And once again, we will be taking a look at what those matches look and feel like. Let's check out. Let's see. We have a match that is loading very slowly. Depressed Met Fan versus Gian Ellis. We're starting off. Gian Ellis did say he was going to stick to Ken. Let's see what this looks like. Don't mind me, I'm going to see if we can edit that screen just a little bit so you can see. There we go. Oh, this is close. Ryu versus Ken, the immortal match, the immortal rivals. Who could possibly take this on? It is close. Throwing a fireball at that range, that is ballsy. Depressed. Oh, it's anyone's game. What could this be? Air to air, roundhouse. For the first round win. You know, I have a feeling Depressed has played Street Fighter before. What do you think, chat? Has Depressed Met Fan ever played Street Fighter? I don't know, never heard of the guy. Going for that DP. Again, let me make sure the sound is playing for y'all. Jump in roundhouse. Roundhouse. Patrick Swayze would be proud. There we go. Each fireball coming in. Throwing fireballs from that range is dangerous, but Guionellis doesn't care. Up. DP miss, but it's okay. Crouching strong is the answer. Oh, jab into Dragon Punch. Oh, look at that. That's a strong Dragon Punch right there. Ooh, that is a dirty trick Guionellis knows. The jump neutral into light kick sticks out forever, and it's a great ticking move and a potential combo move. It is 1-1. Who's going to take this first round? This first match? Press Met fan using his Street Fighter skills that we all know and love. Guionellis using his dirty tricks. Who's going to win? Halsey with the jump-ins, the jab jump-ins, the light jump-ins. Oh, I'll DP your DP. That's Street Fighter right there, folks. Closing it out with a close roundhouse attack. Congratulations, Depressed Met fan. You're doing well. But Guionellis can still bring it back. Let's see what happens. USSR, the best stage ever. It has a fence in the way so you can't see half the match. It's great. Would absolutely pass Capcom Cup. Now. We're getting a little footsie here. Let me walk forward and pressure you. Guionellis doing that walk forward DP. It's a good strat, but I'll DP your DP. That's how we do it here in the streets. Yes, I'd like some pound cake. That is exactly what Ryu says when he does a hurricane kick. Don't doubt me. That is absolutely true. I'd like some pound cake. Yeah, Dis is not using Bison for whatever reason. Even though Bison is literally the best character in the game, he decided, nah, not this time. We're gonna do Ken. Ooh. Solid anti-air response. Guionellis. He's doing all the knowledge checks against Depressed Met fan. 0 health. Any move can do it. Reversal. Tick throw and Depressed man went for the trade, which was the smart option there. He had a little bit of health life lead. That's the way to do it. All right, can Depressed fan bring it back here? Oh, look at that. Standing light kick just out of nowhere. Love those matching jump kick moves. It's like you're in a ninja movie. That's not get book kick. That lovely compressed sound as we all love here in Street Fighterville. Oh, Fierce DP, both hits hit. Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, having both hits hit for the Fierce DP on Ken is incredibly rare and randomly doesn't work. So Guionellis got lucky there. Oh man, Guionellis, if he zones correctly, could take this. Ooh, possible tick throw, but then went for special for the chip. Specials do about 2 points of chip damage in this particular version of the game. Guionellis is still on the board, not letting Depressed Met fan get that easy win. Love to see this. Both players getting used to the slower speed of Champion Edition. That's right, we are back in the Wild West. Good thing we're not playing side by side or someone would get stabbed, right? I'm just kidding. In FGC Boomerland, we only deal with hugs. Solid choice. Oh, and that'll take it. Really great comebacks from Guionellis. Solid set play from Depressed Met fan. Congratulations to both players. You're all winners in my book. Let's see how the rest of our matches are going here. Let's check on Lunatic and Hanuk. See how that's landing for us. Looks like we're catching the tail end of it. Ooh. Lunat has no shame. He's going for M. Bison. But it's a 1-1 right now. That's pretty darn good for Zangief. On paper, Zangief cannot win this match. But as we all know here in Boomerville, what's on paper doesn't count. What matters is that you show up, you put in the work, you beat everyone else, and then you go home a family man. Oh, that chip, that's gonna hurt. Oh, that is so smart. It's almost like Canucks played this matchup before, but couldn't quite take it. Hanuck, I'm rooting for you next time. Lunatic, fantastic work there. Applying that sweet, sweet pressure. And we got one more match coming through. Let's see if there's any bit left goodness here. Oh, Balrog, it's a tough one against Ryu. Balrog does not have the turnaround punch to avoid fireballs. And there is the chip right there. It's a 1-1 set. Can Ash take it? Boxer is in rough shape for this game, but he can do a significant amount of damage with a lot of execution behind the wheel. Loving that jump attacks. Unlike other versions of Street Fighter, the tap or turnaround punch does not store for multiple levels, so basically, there's no reason to keep holding the arcade stick. Oh, going for that tick throw dirty. Going for the throw again. Thrillho knows no shame for this match. Ryu's playing tight, but Balrog's taking the right risks. Oh, magic pixel time. And there you have it. Good set, but Ash came out victorious. Excellent job, folks. Excellent job. Let's see what our rankings are looking like right now. I don't believe my browser's actually updating it, because if it would, it would. Here's how our rankings are looking like right now. Depressed Man took 2 out of GNLs, but let me tell you, we saw some of that match, folks. If you watched that, that was not a close 2-0. That was pretty tight. Hanuck and Lunatic, that was also tight. Dad Radish and Shaq, we didn't get to see that, but again, we saw Dad Radish earlier before. Every single person on this stage right now is a fighter. And again, Thrillho lost to Ash, but it was a tight, tight match all around. Let's look at our standings so far. Here's our point tally so far. If you haven't entered your points, make sure to enter your points in Challenge if you're able to do so. Right. Checking on things, making sure everyone's good to go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We finished our round 2 matches. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, we had a question before, didn't we? A question about Japan receiving Champion Edition either at the same time as the US or a little bit later, a little bit before, and you all gave your answers. And Thrillho tracked them down, and we'll go through the final tallies of points in just a moment. But here's the fun fact, ladies and gentlemen. If, and only if, you answered D, 2 months, Japan received Champion Edition 2 months after the US did, then you got the points. And it looks like Lunatic, who answered first, gets more points. So just so we're clear, you get 1 point for every time you get a correct answer for our trivia questions. And if you get first, you get 2 additional points for that. So 2 points if you answer first and correctly. And for every person that answered correctly, and that would be Hanuck and Lunatic, you get 1 point for that. So once again, Japan did not receive Champion Edition until 2 months after the US got it. And you can likely imagine that the US was pretty good at the game, because we got the game a lot sooner than they did. You can also imagine, if we go forward into the future, they received Hyper Fighting around the same time we did, but they didn't have as much time with Champion Edition, and as a result, they didn't quite adapt or enjoy Hyper Fighting as much as we did, right? But again, we're seeing that. Who got Rainbow Edition first? Well, that would be anyone in a developing country who didn't have a distribution agreement with Capcom USA or Japan, which was quite a lot. Quite a lot. Ironic says, I think the answer is my local laundromat. Yeah, I think that's true too. Yeah, I think I was there. What was that, 93, I think? Yeah. So excellent job, competitors all around. So that's just one question of many that we'll get started with. But right now, let's go ahead and continue on with round 3 of our brackets. Round 3, we are looking at Gion Ellis versus Hanuck, Lunatic versus Dad Radish, Ash versus Shaq the Great, and Thrillho versus Depressed Met Fan. Go ahead and start your round 3 matches, and we will watch and spectate how those matches look and feel. And don't worry, more trivia questions are coming up next as well. Welcome, Mox. Love having you here. Love seeing you. So once again, you're starting your round 3 matches right now. Let's see how the matches shake up. Start your competitor. Who's playing against who? Let's see how Lunatic and Dad Radish fare. Team Green, ladies and gentlemen, on a stage that is more green colored than most, so, not at all confusing. But a lovely stage, what a lovely background. Now, Guile versus M. Bison is an incredibly fair, balanced matchup. It's probably the most fair, balanced, diverse matchup you can possibly go for. Because no one does as hard-hitting damage as Guile, but also no one's got the infinite like M. Bison. And there we go, abusing the sweep, taking down Guile, showing him what it means to be a family man. Also, Jean-Claude Van Damme, what a jerk. I have nothing against the guy, I'm just saying. I'm a Raw Julia man myself. Let me go ahead and lower the volume on that because it's a little loud. Applying that pressure like the rushdown character that M. Bison is. In this particular game, M. Bison has no fear, and we just saw our perfect there with Luna. But again, Dad Radish put up a good fight. It's tough against good old M. Bison. Why does M. Bison block with his ribs? It's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, unless his ribs are made out of titanium or adamantium. Sure. Again, applying that pressure, but Guile has the reversal. M. Bison does not have a reversal. That is a stereotypical rushdown of the M. Bison against Guile. Nothing to be shameful of, though. Happens to all of us. But what I love about how Dad is playing, he's playing defensively, and he's trying to figure out things, and we're watching this in real time, folks. How many times do you get the opportunity to watch people learn in real time? He's looking at block strings, he's looking at what's safe, what's not safe. He is learning, and he walked forward, which is one of the ballsiest things you can do in good old CE. Lunatic takes it 2-0, but congratulations again, Dad Radish. You are putting in the work. I appreciate you, and I see you. Let's see how Shaq the Great versus Ash are holding up here, friends. We got Black Ken versus Ash's Ryu. Fun fact, one of the best Ken players in CE is a South Korean player known as Black Ken. I'm sure no relation. Ash has got that zoning fireball pressure down. He is just not letting people get in. Shaq learning that hurricane kicks do not pass through fireballs. I had to learn it again. I had to assess the situation. Ooh, good jump in. That was a good, smart, safe jump in. Good sweep right there. Apply the pressure. Oh, sweep again. But Ash reversals with the throw, which, by the way, there is no throw teching in this game. If two people throw at exactly the same time, there's like a 50% chance it could go either way. Unless, and this is important, unless you're the person applying pressure. So on a wake-up situation, the person who's waking up has a disadvantage. Statistically speaking, the person who's applying pressure gets the throw more times than not, which is why it's really important to have your reversals tied in down pat. One frame reversals are key in this particular game. Oh, crouching fierce into the Dragon Punch, but it gets blocked. Ooh, max range sweep, love to see it. Only in Street Fighter 2 does crouching a crouching roundhouse into a fireball turn into a legit block string and or combo in some cases. Ooh, again with those sweeps, we are practicing Sweep City today, aren't we? Smells good in here. Magic pixel time. This is when the magic happens. Shaq took the loss, but it's okay. Ash has won, but Shaq can bring it back. And again, if you're watching this from home, if you're not competing at all, you have to give a huge shout out to our competitors here today. A lot of us have not ever played this game. Some of us played it a long time ago. We're all just practicing the glory days of what it was like to play Champion Edition. And all we had was each other. Loving the tenacity of Shaq here. Dropping the black colors because you know what? Maybe that was holding him back. Oh, solid trade, but not the dizzy. Whenever it slows down like that, there's a pretty good chance one character or two is dizzy, but not this particular time. 2 hard heavies is all it takes in a quick succession to usually put someone into a dizzy state in the earlier Street Fighter 2 games. Sweep. Block string with a hurricane kick with Ken usually isn't a bad option because Ken is a little safe on that. Ooh, rapid fire jab. Love it. Ken's got the advantage, but deciding to still be aggressive. Oof. Oh! You saw there, Shaq was adapting and learning how the jumping roundhouse works, how fast the recovery is, how stubby it is. We saw that in action, folks. Shaq's bringing it back. Oh, bad trade. Ash is punished with some jabs, but it still did damage, which is good. And Ash is doing some very smart zoning here. Oh, lovely throw. Oh! That corner trick you only see in CE, ladies and gentlemen. That was close. Ash took it. Can Ash take the whole set? We will see. Really appreciate how fearless Shaq is being right now. Love challenging that with the air roundhouse. Oh, and there's the sweep. Put him in the pressure, put him in the corner. Oh, the sweep again. Oh, but the counter throw. That is Ash's favorite trick in the corner, it seems. Ooh, probably was a missed fireball there, but it's okay. Shaq's coming back. This is anyone's game, ladies and gentlemen. This is tight. Oh, the air hurricane. Or sorry, just ground hurricane. Hurricane again. We might be getting in Ash's head. It happens from time to time. Applying that smart pressure. Oh, air to air again. Shaq has this if he can keep the trades up. Oh, this is tight, ladies and gentlemen. This is tight. Ash sticking to his zoning. Time is running out. Ash has to do something. Oh, now it is no longer Shaq's game. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, that was Champion Edition. Mere seconds away. Shaq had the game. Ash played the game correctly. Made it a timeout win. What a classic time scam. Absolutely. Yeah, that's good old Street Fighter. All right, so let's see how we're doing so far, folks. Round 3 is complete. DNLs against Hanuk, Lunatuk versus Radish, Ash and Shaq. They're putting their scores in now, Thrillho and Depressed Met Fan. And again, it can still be anyone's game. What I'm loving that I'm seeing so far is we've got a wide spread of different people with exposure to this particular game, and we're seeing them learning the game on the fly, just through experience alone. And also, they're all brave for putting themselves on camera, on stream for us today. That's what FGCB is all about. Bravery, putting in the time, putting in the work, not caring what the results are, but knowing long-term it's going to give us huge, huge gains. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time again for quiz time. This is for all of our Fightcade competitors, as well as our spectators here at home. As before, I'm going to give you a little bit of a setup. I'm going to talk about the story and the question. We're going to give our competitors an opportunity in the chat to respond with an answer. We'll be tracking the scores for everyone, or actually Thrillho would be. That's why he's a legend and I'm not. And then, of course, spectators that are on Twitch stream chat, I encourage you to put in your answers as well, what you think things are. And as always, Google is not your friend for these questions. Let's go ahead and get started. So, for our next question. You see, today Japan is known as one of the pillars of fighting games, based on their player talent and caliber of skill. It wasn't always that way, though. In fact, in the early days, the United States dominated the country of Japan in terms of tournament wins and skill when it came to Street Fighter II specifically. To paint a picture, by 1992 in Japan, arcade game centers were a staple of Japan's entertainment and rest and relaxation culture. You'd take a 30-minute coffee break and stop by the game center and play a couple games of your favorite game. When Street Fighter II was installed in many of these locations, they were done so to maximize on the machine and people real estate they had at the time, using the space as wisely as possible to promote player traffic and, of course, profits for our humble coin operators. This row style of arcade layouts became known as head-to-head or versus style, as popularized by the late Sega when they made dedicated machines for this purpose. Head-to-head machines allowed both Player 1 and Player 2 to have their own dedicated monitor, control panel, and, based on how the layout worked, you'd be facing towards each other but never seeing each other. In this way, it was common in Japan for you to never see your opponent or communicate with them, as the user experience was very singular. One person from the United States, who was an avid player, was said to be influential in having some coin operators change some of their arcade layouts in Japan to allow for side-by-side play to maximize on information transfer and communication between players, giving that camaraderie feel and allowing the players to get better faster. Imagine playing next to someone and when you lost, asking them questions after the match of what they did. Knowledge was huge then. The US had a hand because all of our cabinets were side-by-side singular machines, but Japan didn't have it this way. This person was able to suggest this because when they flew into Capcom's Japan offices, this is Capcom Japan, they were unbeatable, even against Capcom's own design and programming team. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure I have the screen up and ready for you. Who was this person? Is it A, John Choi? B, Tomo Ohira? C, Mike Watson? D, James Goddard? E, Ed Boon? We're getting our answers now. A mix of answers, I love it. Once again, you're identifying the person who was responsible for changing some of the Japanese arcade culture to allow for side-by-side play, to allow the players as a whole to get better because they could talk to each other afterwards. Again, is it John Choi, Tomo Ohira, Mike Watson, James Goddard, E, Ed Boon? And we are getting our answers now. Looks like we're waiting for one more response. And again, in my chat, what do I got here? We got some people thinking it's Mike Watson. We got some people thinking it's John Choi. Some are saying it's James Goddard. Some are saying it's Ed Boon, right? If you remember, Ed Boon is the maker of Mortal Kombat. And just for additional context, John Choi is a well-renowned US competitive Street Fighter II and Alpha player. Tomo Ohira was the original first competitive Street Fighter II player who was known across the United States as being the best Ryu and Guile player ever. Mike Watson was a big friend of Tomo Ohira, a highly competitive player, one of the reigning champs of Super Street Fighter II. James Goddard, who was a QA analyst and designer at Capcom, as well as in their marketing firm. And Ed Boon, hey, no slouch, the creator of Mortal Kombat. Those are your answers, friends. And like before, I'm going to tease you a little bit. We're not going to get to the answer quite yet, what the real answer is. Stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and start off on our next round of matches then. Bracket number 4, round 4, as we continue on. Here's our standings. Shaq the Great, you're against Lunatic. Hanuk, you're against Thrillho. Dad Radish against Guionellis. And Depressed Met Fan up against Ash. Go ahead and find your competitors. Do a first to 2, and we will see how everyone's doing. Go ahead and start your round 4 matches. Thank you, Thrillho, for keeping us honest on that. Hey, dudes. Hey, Casey. Hey, Yvonne. How y'all doing? Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Let's see how Hanuk and Thrillho are going to rank up with each other. Let's find this out.
Round 1, fight!
I think on paper, this is a pretty close matchup. Zangief might have the win, though. So as for those of you that don't know, Balrog does not have his turnaround punch that goes through fireballs. He can't charge the turnaround punch, but he can combo the turnaround punch into dash straights. But the problem in Champion Edition, and Thrillho knows this, I know, I talked to him about it, is that all of his dash straights and turnaround punches, they whiff against crouching characters. They didn't give that property to him until later games in the series, but right now, he doesn't have that. So, does Zangief know that? Does Hanuk know that? And again, we've already seen Hanuk do some great work with Zangief. Not afraid to jump in because Balrog doesn't have the best DP in the game. Doesn't even have a DP at all beyond a dash straight uppercut. KC, love that you're training for the Boomer battle. Love to see it. Can't wait to see how you do on that, friend. That splash. Love to see a fearless Zangief. Oh, but Zangief's crouching jab is one of the best moves in the game. Oh, losing right to the knee splat. Death by knees. What can I say? Hanuk takes it 1-0. Thrillo. Stuck with Balrog. What's he gonna do? Hanuk might be listening to the broadcast. Walk up SPD. You love to see it, folks. Oh, crouching roundhouse. Jab into lariat. See, there we saw it. The dash straight goes right over crouching opponents. And there we go. Not quite a perfect. But you know, in the world of grapplers, sometimes that is basically a perfect. That is correct, Ghost. There are no such thing as losers, just learners. And that's what we're all doing today. Oh, love that anti-air option from Thrilho. Smart adaptation there. Ooh, tick into SPD. That wasn't quite a perfect frame tick, but it was good enough. Jump in roundhouse. Battle of the buttons. Thrilho's getting that DP option from Balrog in place. Not the best one, but it's working against Zangief right now. Ooh. Smart job there. Hanuk is using the lariat to great effect. The lariat is not great in this game, but Hanuk is using it like, you wouldn't know. And there we go. Hanuk takes 2-0, but Thrill did a great job. Fantastic work. Great job, both players. Let's see, how else are we doing? Yanels versus Dad Radish. How's this one shaping out to be? Dad Radish take the first win. Guile versus Ken. This is a tricky one. I think on paper Guile wins this one, but you know what? Ken's got tricks. Ken's Dragon Punch is very invincible through the entire startup, which is about 18 or so frames. But on that landing, as we just saw, you come back down. If you're in the middle of a fireball, you're gonna eat it. Ooh, Dad Radish is learning the value of walk up, close fierce. Ooh, neutral jump, not quite. Fireballs are slow in CE, that doesn't work all the time in this particular game. Hyper fighting, yes. CE, no. IV Aces says, answer to the question is Tomo Ohira. Ooh, love that you're contributing to that. We'll find out what the answer is in just a few moments. That's right. Depending on which interpretation you listen to, Ken is either a Japanese person who exported into America or was always from America, depending on which US manual you read. The Battle of the Americans rages on. Ooh, great jab into DP. Ooh, love the neutral light kick. Again, I gotta give credit to Dad Radish for not being afraid. He's getting a good sense of when to block, when not to block. Ooh, Yanels is trying to keep the pressure on. Oh, ho, ho, ho. With flash kick into jab. Just standing jab. The Street Fighter way. Man who owns a yacht versus man who works on an aircraft carrier. Yeah. Sonic Boom! There we go again. And CE fireballs are so slow that invincibility on Dragon Punch isn't quite worth it sometimes. Oh, trying to go for that like second time. You know what? I like Yanel's choice there of standing medium punch. That might have worked if it was just a pixel closer. Haha! Abuse that invincibility. Loving that walk forward Sonic Boom. Oh! Tricky! The original anti-air. Can Guinellis do it? Oh! Oh, not quite. Not quite. That was close. Once again, Guinellis showing us that when the timer's on, he puts the pressure on. Excellent, excellent matches, everyone. Frillo says Guile is just Ken plus static electricity. Yeah, man. I'd agree with that. Absolutely. Time Scam Guile is the heart of fighting games. Ooh, I love it. Yeah, he basically is. Guile was a certain character. For those of you that weren't familiar with the time period, everyone played Guile. Guile was one of the better characters in World Warrior, and he was absolutely probably the second best character in CE. Everyone had a back pocket Guile back in the day, and I'm loving seeing some of the Guile play here. Absolutely. All right, so that was round 4. Let's see how we're doing so far. Let's see our standings. Again, round 4, we had some tight matches all around from what I saw. Again, Hanukk's 2-0 against Thrillhell was not a true 2-0. It was tight. Balrog versus Zangief is a tough match. Guillenellis fought for his life. 2-0 Dad Radish against Guillenellis. Depressed Met fan winning against Ash 2-1. And Shaq the Great, again, fighting that good fight against Luna. And here's where our standings are. Not including trivia wins, by the way. Not including trivia wins, but so far, our winner so far is Lunatic. But we're only halfway through this Ranbat. It could be anyone's game. It's a nice spread of points all around. And as we know before, when it comes to trivia, anyone can win. So let's talk about that question I talked about before. Who was the player that changed some Japanese game setters' mindsets into having some side-by-side setups? Who was the player? We had a couple of different answers here. And the correct answer was D, James Goddard. And the first person to get that right in the fighting competitors was Dad Radish. So James Goddard, he worked in the marketing firm from Capcom USA. And he ended up becoming a QA tester for Champion Edition. He would later go on and help work on Hyper Fighting, that version of the game. But he was such a good player that he was often flown out to Capcom Japan to help see how they were working on things, because again, they wanted to see Capcom Japan got the release of CE 2 months after the US, and wanted to see what was going on. Fun fact, while Japan enjoyed Street Fighter II, it was the United States that loved Street Fighter II way more. And so part of James Goddard's strategy was to see what's going on with Japan. Why isn't Japan loving this game as much as US is? And he found out really quickly. He bodied every single Capcom Japanese employee and all of the Game Center legends there. He was beating everyone, including a player named Pony Cannon. And they asked him, what was your secret? And he said, you guys, you play like you're playing a single player game. You need to play side by side. So that way you can learn from each other and get better, faster. And he explained to them how the cabinets work in America. And some game centers like Mikado started adapting that philosophy. Not for every single arcade center, but a lot of them did. And Capcom Japan embraced that as well. And so we saw legends start coming up from this era. Believe it or not, Tokido started playing during the CE era. That's right. And so did Daigo. Again, he wasn't a legend at that point, but he definitely started at that point. And I have to imagine, thanks to some of the camaraderie happening there and how the layouts were changing, they were able to level up faster. So there you go. There's your fun fact of the day. We're going to take a very quick short break. So you've all been playing for about 4 rounds. We're going to take about a 5-minute break. I'm going to put a screen up for loading right now in just a moment. When we come back in about 5 minutes, we'll continue off and finish rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8 and see who our victor is. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and we are back here for Champion Edition tonight as we continue the round robin here at FGCB. If you're just tuning in, by the way, and you're not a member of FGCB, which is FGC Boomers for short, why don't you join us today? We'd love to have you. We specialize in LGBTQ positivity, openness and inclusion, vulnerability and honesty. All of us are working adults trying to make things work out for the best of our partners, our loved ones, our friends. But we also want to just play some goddamn fighting games. That's what we're here to do. Playing some good fighting games from back in 1992, Street Fighter II Champion Edition. We have seen some crazy upsets. We have seen some players really kind of turn the tide on some character matchups that shouldn't work on paper. And hey, more importantly, we've all had a good time with everyone that we're with here today. I want to thank every single one of our competitors for sticking with it as long as you can. We've had a couple people have to bow out, and that's perfectly fine because you know what? We're all adults. We're all lives. We're here for the fun of it. But I appreciate you all here right now with me today. But before we start with our next round, round 5, let's start with another quiz question. I'm feeling very charitable, my friends. Let's again try to give you all an opportunity to get more points. Because again, it doesn't matter what the points are. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It matters if you have fun, and points in terms of fun is the only currency we care about here at FGCB. So let's go ahead and get started here with an easy question. That's right, it's easy. Fighting games and bugs. They go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. While it is known that many of Street Fighter II's qualities were unintended consequences of free-form gameplay that the designers were shooting for, did you know that it's actually a myth that the combo as we know it was a bug? Yeah, if you Google that, you'll see a lot of articles saying that combos were never designed for Street Fighter II. That's actually false. The designers had planned all along to have combos in the game, but the extent to which you could combo was what became unintended. Specifically, being able to cancel normal moves into special moves, which is one of our favorite combos that we all love here as fighting games. The feature was such a hit that later versions, GOAT Edition included, Street Fighter Champion Edition, which we're playing all today, would keep this functionality and even enhance upon it. But one aspect of this feature did not carry over into later versions, something we now call the CPS chain or cancel. In the Street Fighter II versions that are on the original Capcom Play System 1 hardware, of which there are 3, World Warrior, Champion Edition, and Hyper Fighting, there was an exploit that allowed a player to cancel a crouching rapid-fire jab or short kick into a standing fierce or roundhouse, which shouldn't normally be possible. You do so by doing a special Renda Kara cancel technique. You can ask about me, scare quotes about it after the tournament for further details, and then after all of that, cancel that move into a special move. This CPS1 chain gave characters like Ryu, Ken and Guile, and other characters combos that had so much damage they would later inspire the Super Combo move found in Super Street Fighter II Turbo, and every successive Street Fighter release moving forward then onwards. While this technique would get patched out in Super Street Fighter II, unfortunately, it did make an appearance in Street Fighter Alpha or 03 as a benefit of using Xism. But alright, what's the question, Sam? Taken out of context, taken out of Street Fighter context, one formative game series would take this idea of CPS chains and run with it, creating an entirely new subgenre of fighting games. The question is, what game would Capcom develop first that would continue this idea of chaining? A, Street Fighter Alpha. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen for this. A, Street Fighter Alpha. B, X-Men Children of the Atom. C, Darkstalkers. D, Power Stone. E, Cyberbots. Or F, Marvel vs. Capcom. What was the game that Capcom developed that would continue this idea of chaining that was too buggy, too glitchy for Street Fighter, but we could use it for something else? We're getting some answers here. Brionic Zero saying Alpha 1. Some are saying Darkstalkers. And seeing a lot of interesting answers here, but as before, we'll get those answers following the next round. So let's go ahead and start our rounds for the upcoming section here. We're on round 5, ladies and gentlemen. We're more than halfway through. Depressed Met Fan against Hanuk. Kianels versus Shaq the Great. Thrill Dad Radish. And Lunatic, I believe you're taking a bye for Ash, so that's okay if you go out this round. You can kind of enter your points for that one unless Ash comes back. So again, Depressed Met Fan versus Hanuk, Gianellis versus Shaq the Great, Thrillho versus Dad Radish, and Lunatic, you get a bye for this. Let's go ahead and see how these matches are folding up. Round 5 is starting. Find your competitors, do a first to 2, and let's see how things run forward. Let's see how Hanuk and Depressed Fan are rolling. These have been some hot matches here between both competitors. Let me, of course, also make sure that my audio is working. Excellent.
Round 1.
Gladys Mute says, Darkstalkers was definitely made with high combo potential, but X-Men came out first. Casey Bruss is MBC, baby. The Embryonic Zeus Alpha one was all chain combos, if I recall. That's correct. All right, so Depressed Met Fan using the good old tried Ryu method versus Hanuk's Killer Zangief. Could literally be anyone's game for this particular match. And we are seeing that a textbook Ryu makes Zangief's life really hard. But this is the land of magic. This is the land of Boomerville, and anything can happen. Normal throw there. Good damage. Zangief did good damage even on his normal throws. Oh, that was a smart move on Hanuk's part, staying in that sweet range where it's difficult for Ryu to react. Oh, excellent lariat response there. This is tight, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, punish, and there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was some grade A, fantastic Champion Edition fighting right there. Can Hanuk keep the heat up? Depressed Met Fan. Trying to keep him in that right zoning. There we get that walk under throw technique. Love Depressed Mets Fan's use of the crouching roundhouse. Oh, ho, 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 one of our favorite combos here, and there's the Dizzy right there, SPD. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hanuk take the first game. Zangief is scary. So here's a fun fact for any fans of Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 2 was inspired by Champion Edition. Ayano Kishiro was actually the lead designer for that game and used Champion Edition as inspiration. That's why Streets of Rage 2 has such a complex fighting system as well as combos. And she added the character Max, who's a grappler in that game, because Yuzo Koshiro, that's right, Yuzo Koshiro, the composer of great fame, he loved playing Zangief and wanted to get a character just like that for her game. So there you go. Don't say you don't ever learn anything for a boomer stream. I love that Hanuk is just not afraid of that health bar. He's got health to bleed. In the corner is exactly where he wants it, and there are some inescapable setups that once Zangief has you in for this game, you cannot escape. Bringing it back. Depressed Met Fan trying to hold the ground. Oh, in the sweep, it's anyone's game, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone's game. Who's going to outzone what? And Depressed Met Fan goes for the clutch DP. Love seeing that.
Round 2. Fight.
That's right, Luna. This is a classic match. Oh my gosh, Hanuk's really smart use of standing medium kick is so smart right there. Oh, Lariat does not beat the Hurricane Kick, unfortunately. Oh man, so much damage. Depressed needs to get out of that corner, and I think he knows it, but he's also trying to outzone. He gets out of the corner, good. Now he's got a new corner to worry about. There's the jab into the roundhouse. Can he keep that zoning up? He's got 35 seconds. He needs to keep it up. Hanuk is using that lariat like it's not bad. Let's use it every day, friends. Ooh, that's right. From that deep of an angle, the lariat doesn't work as an anti-air. But again, Hanuk is bringing it in. Great match for both parties. Can Hanuk take it for 2-0? Or is Depressed Met Fan gonna stop him? I'm coming, Horosho. Good one. My loyal fans. Yeah, that's the Zangief we love. Both Zangief and Ryu are such good sports, by the way. They just love fighting a good match. They just want to be stronger. Although Zangief took the whole strong thing a little more literally, but it's fine. Oof. Oh, Dizzy, this could be it, ladies and gentlemen, and that is it. Hanuk takes it, but that was a solid match from Depressed Met Fan. Again, learning spacing, learning that Zangief is a threat. Fantastic job, players. Let's see where Gianellis and Shaq the Great are faring right now. Like we're just starting the match, and that's perfectly fine. We've all got lives.
Round 1.
Ken v. Ken. The question is, I know the answer, but the question is, will either Ken learn the cross-under unblockable hurricane kick wake-up setup? Probably not. But sometimes you see it in a random match, and it's exciting to see. Love seeing that poking, that spacing. Jack the Great. Gianellis' trademark. Jump in, roundhouse. A fun, neat thing about the old CPS1 Street Fighter games, you'll notice that Ken and Ken, as you see in the life bars, one Ken has different font color. That's so that way you can tell who's who. This feature was completely removed in Super and Super Turbo. Very sad. Battle of the DPs. I absolutely love that Gianellis does those fireballs from that kind of range. That is ballsy. That is dirty, and that is old school. Oh, catches that roundhouse. Yes, I'd like some pound cake. Yes, he really does. If it's working, keep doing it. That's what Shaq's saying. Oh, that would have been interesting. Oh, that was so close, ladies and gentlemen.
You win. Round 1. Fight.
Gianellis saying you tried to do the air grab, but it's okay. Oh, going for that jab. That's right. Sometimes the jab can dizzy. Do not sleep on jabs in this game, my friends. A jump roundhouse is serving Gianellis very well. Oof. Jack the Great's bringing it back. Love to see it, folks. That's right. Gianellis is channeling his inner energy. There you saw the orange or red fireball. Often thought to be a glitch, but actually isn't. It's an Easter egg left by Akira Nishitani, designer of the original Street Fighter 2. Just a fun little, hey, you just did a red fireball. It does no additional damage or stun, it's just there. Shaq is applying pressure. Oh, did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? That close medium kick? That was, I don't often say this word, but that was what we call in the business sexy. It's 1-1. It can be anyone's game. Oh, Shaq is getting a feel for how to jump over those fireballs safely. Again, you are seeing people learn this game in real time, folks. Oh! In that pressure, but kind of giving Gianellis some breathing room there. Oh! Went for the DP, going for it again. Going for the grounded uppercut. Oh, jab, jab, jab. That's a dizzy. And... oh, Gianellis is not having it. Magic Pixel be damned. Oh! Oh! That was tight.
You win.
That fireball was meant to be a TP. It's fine. Still a tight game. Can be anything. Jab, jab, jab. Jab, fighter, jab. That guy is chugging a lot of vodka, I'm assuming, and he's probably dead. Just saying, if you're ever looking at the background. Maybe it's water. And that'll be it. The Hurricane Kick. Shaq has learned a very good friend with the Hurricane Kick. Great games, both competitors. Wow. Some tight matches. Let me tell you, I'm the one getting all the benefit out of these matches. I get to watch fantastic Street Fighter, one of my favorite hobbies ever. And you're all giving it to me. So thank you. You're all lovely. That concludes round 5. It looks like some of us have already jumped the gun a little bit, and looks like that's okay for right now. It's like we're jumping a little bit, and that's fine. I don't know if that's a glitch in the system or if Thrill Hill's working something on the background. Let's go ahead and continue then with our trivia question. And as you remember, I asked you, what game would Capcom develop first that would continue this idea of chaining? And there's multiple options. Some of you got the right answer. And that right answer was B, X-Men Children of the Atom. That's right. Akira Nishitani, the game designer of Street Fighter II, would actually work on X-Men Children of the Atom. So not only is he the father of Street Fighter II, he's also the father of Marvel vs. fighting games. And he was so smitten with the idea of chaining moves freely that he wanted to just let people have at it. It especially made sense when dealing with the IP of the X-Men. X-Men are powerful and they can do all kinds of godly, wonderful things. Music says, I thought Darkstalkers came before X-Men. Check it again. That's a good one. Darkstalkers also did have chain combos, and so did Street Fighter Alpha. But they all got it from X-Men Children of the Atom first. Power Stone doesn't have chain combos, but it is a lovely 3D brawler on the Dreamcast. I recommend it. Cyberbots also does not have chain combos. Cyberbots has fixed combos. Believe it or not, all the combos in Cyberbots are pre-programmed. And of course, Marvel vs. Capcom would come out years later. And Akuma is in X-Men Children of the Atom. That it is correct. Hence the word X, right? Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 X. And X-Men had to bring in that Akuma for that energy. Excellent. Folks, we are winding things down. If we haven't started already, let's go ahead and start round 6. Shaq the Great against Thrilho. Dad Radish versus Depressed Met Fan. Panook, you get a pass versus Ash. And so is Gianellis. That's what we're talking about before. Yep, we got some passes there. And Lunatech versus Gianellis for round 6 as we move on with the rest of this tournament series. Once again, Shaq the Great versus Thrilho. Dad Rash versus Depressed Met Fan. Panook gets the pass. And Lunatic versus Gianellis. Go ahead and start your matches now, folks. Let's see where this lies. I'm curious to see Depressed Met Fan versus Dad Radish. I think you are too, folks.
Round 1. Fight.
Dipsy Bear, love Cyberbots. It's such a great game. Depressed Met Fan, Ryu versus Guile. If you don't know the lore behind Depressed Met Fan, his best friend always played against Guile. So this is his revenge match, ladies and gentlemen. Dad Radish is representing a lot more than just a boomer right now. And there we see it, Depressed Met Fan taking on that first round against Dad Radish.
Round 2. Fight. Sonic Boom.
Dad Radish figuring out that timing for Sonic Booms. Excellent, love to see it. Depressed Met Fan's not having it. He's just going in and throwing. He does not want to give Guile respect. You know, I have a feeling Depressed Met Fan plays Guile in his free time. I don't know about you, just I have a hunch. And there's that throw, but he's not dead. Magic Pixel time. Press Met Fan 1-0. Dad Radish, don't sleep on him. I think he can bring it back. Let's see how this turns out. More Sonic Boom time. He's learning how to use the low forward. The standing medium punch is a great anti-air tool. Oh, there we go. We're seeing it now. Depressed Met Fan is dirty, ladies and gentlemen. I love you, Depressed. I'm only saying it out of love. But we saw it here. Getting that throw in. Can Dad Radish bring it back? Throws were so easy to exploit in the old games. It would demoralize, but I think Dad Radish has the mental stamina to push through this. Bringing it back. Oh, and there it is. We saw some great adaptation there from Dad Radish, but again, Depressed Met Fan knew. He knew this match. Let's see how Lunatic versus Guy and Ellis are doing. And we just caught the end of that. Lunatic 2-0 versus Guy and Ellis. Lastly, Shaq the Great versus Thrillho. See, such a big game. So explosive. No throws was the American Prohibido Jugar con Rugal. Forgive my pronunciation. Yeah, that is true. For those of you that don't know, if you go to South American territories, they usually have rules saying you will be banned if you pick Rugal in some of the older KOFs. And no one stopped this dictator? Maybe. Gotcha, it was one of your cousins, Depressed. Thanks for correcting me. So it wasn't a friend, it was blood. Oh, Shaq the Great. Applying that pressure from that great hurricane kick.
You win. Round 2. Fight. Hadouken! 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 Hadouken!
Battle of the normals. Because there's no super moves in Champion Edition, normal moves just feel really powerful. Oh, walking forward. Taking the damage. Shaq is getting a real feel for the fireball game in this particular game. Oh, wake up, throw. Oh, tried to do the cross up into another throw, I bet, but Shaq was wise and used the jab trick. That is true, those feuds always hit hardest. Alright, Shaq the Great's 1-0.
Round 1. Fight.
Again, we are seeing some fantastic adaptation here. Thrillho is learning what can Balrog do, what can't he do. Those hits hit hard. A lot of his moves whiff, but when they don't, you pay for it. Shaq learning the value of crouching roundhouse. Still close. Oh, Shaq predicted a move, used the roundhouse, but Thrillho baited it and punished. Thrillho's getting a rhythm. And there we go, punishing the jump, the backwards jump specifically. There is no air blocking in Street Fighter 2. Not that there was doubts about that, but I thought I'd just let everyone know, in case you thought, maybe this is the game. No, there's no air block. Those block strings, they hit hard. Use those orange hit sparks, you know. You know. Battle of the crouching whiffing moves. Who will win? Oh, you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Crouching forward into fireball. Doesn't get more old school than that. Shaq bringing it back. And Shaq make it 2-0 or Thrill Ho make it 1-1.
Round 3, fight!
Oh, I felt that punch from a mile away. Oof. Oh! So many things happened right there.
You win!
We saw the move whiff, and Thrill Ho took the opportunity to go right for the throw anyway. Wow! Casey says, crazy theory for Street Fighter 6, no Balrog, but Ed will be charged and have his moves. 1, 2, 3 will be charged, I'm calling it. No way Ed goes from being proto-modern character to charge. Settle your bets. This is 1-1, this is exciting. We have seen two players play either a game or a character they're not familiar with, and we've seen the adaptation on the fly. Also, I love that in CPS1 Street Fighter games, Balrog's eyes and teeth are the same color as his shirt. Blue denim. Someone tell Balrog that after you brush with your teeth using Colgate, you gotta spit it out. Oh, there's the counter throw. Shaq's learning the dirty tricks. Magic pixel time, but Shaq couldn't bring it in. It's anyone's game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Round 2, fight!
Ooh, dig in. Balrog and those whiffing moves. It's tough. I think both players are feeling the anxiety and exhaustion of playing such a game with such high damage and having to make such crazy decisions for so long. But we're gonna see them persevere. I'm on the edge of my seat, ladies and gentlemen. Magic pixel. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
You win!
Point match for both competitors.
Round 3, fight!
This can be anyone's game, but Thrill Ho opens it up with some huge damage right off the bat, getting that life lead. Challenging that with a roundhouse is a smart move. Hurricane kick for the win, but we go for the throw loop. Ah! I'm feeling this in my bones. It could be anyone. Magic pixel. Oh, and Thrill Ho cinches it.
You win!
That was so tight. Thrill Ho taking it for the win. Congratulations, all the competitors. All right, so we've seen some great matches. We now have some questions, right? Let's go ahead and talk about our final couple questions here for trivia. Again, as our rankings look, we are at round 7, but before we start with round 7, let me refresh my screen one more time so we see the right scores. There we go. There's your buys. It's going to be Thrill Ho against Lunatic, Depressed versus Shaq, and Hanuk versus Dad Radish. Gian Ellis gets the pass, so he gets to take a little bit of a break. He's pretty happy right now. Our standings are looking like Lunatic on top with 12, but Hanuk not too far behind. Depressed Met fan doing a very, very smart, strong opening for a game that he hasn't played in quite a while. Ash doing fantastic for a guy who's left half the tournament. Thrill Ho with 6, which is very honorable for learning a brand new character. Shaq, first time playing CE. And Gian Ellis repping with that veteran knowledge, seeing how far the DP can go. and Dad Radish learning the intricacies of what it's like to block correctly. So, before we get started with our final round, we do need a little bit of trivia, and we got some good trivia for you. We're not done quite yet. So here's your trivia, folks. And as I said before, it could be anyone's game. If for some reason we have the middle tier depressed Met fan and Ash decides to come back from the grave or to come back from dinner, we could see some upsets. So here's our second to last trivia question. If you've heard me before, you've heard me talk about Akira Nishitani, who is the lead creative director on Street Fighter II. Did you know, though, that before Capcom tapped his shoulder and said, hey, you want to make an updated version of everyone's favorite fighting game? He was already planning on making a Champion Edition before that happened. He was working on it. He was fine-tuning it. In fact, he was tinkering with the game code, refining animations and moves and hitboxes to make a more competitive game. He even planned to allow for the 4 Grandmasters to be playable and allow for same character select before anyone asked him to. So when they tapped on his shoulder, he said, yeah, sure, I'll work on it. But he had already had it done and completed. It was ready to go. So here's your question. It's a true or false question. Pretty simple. Just one answer. True or false? Akira Nishitani would work on and direct the rest of the Street Fighter II revisions following Champion Edition, starting with Hyper Fighting, then New Challengers, and lastly, Super Street Fighter II X or Turbo as it is known, which would be his final vision of the game. True or false? Just simply answer true or false. And chat, what do we think about this? Dad Radish says, I'm here. Elmer says Thrill vs. Luna is the Ryu Ken of Fightcade. Boxer's a secret grappler in this game. Damn, yeah, you're right, Shaq. Loudest says false. Ironic Zero says false. Pat the Great says true. Says true, and I'm sure Gian Ellis is stepping away for the moment. But unlike in the past, I'm actually going to give you the answer. That's right, I'm going to give you the answer before we start our final round for this particular question. The answer to this question is false, ladies and gentlemen. Akira Nishitani, the director, the creator of Street Fighter II, and the entire original staff who worked on Street Fighter II had little to nothing to do with later versions of Street Fighter. Hyper Fighting was the child of James Goddard. Him and one other sole US programmer worked on that game, programmed it. The Capcom staff play tested it, but that was it. And then Super Street Fighter II and Super Street Fighter II Turbo was a completely different design team. You can tell because if you play that game, it just feels a little bit different. The art looks different. The combos are a little bit different. The proximity normals are different. Completely different design team. The only person that retained on the team as a consultant was Akira Yasuda, who was the lead character designer of the game, and he just QA'd everything and made sure it looked okay. He also was responsible for drawing up and doing the pixel art for that famous Ryu splash screen in Super Street Fighter II with the lightning and the fireball. But beyond that, all the designers moved on to X-Men, Children of the Atom, and they had nothing to do with Super or Super Turbo. It's okay, Shaq. I appreciate you going on that limb. I appreciate it a lot. All right, folks. This is it. Round 7. The final one as we move on in this standing here. We've got some good games lined up. Gian Ellis gets to take a break, but Thrill Hell versus Luna, Depressed Met Fan versus Shaq, and Hanuk versus Dad Radish. I can't wait to see what happens. Go ahead and start your round 7 matches now. Go ahead and start your round 7 matches now. I'll go ahead and pop it into chat as well so you see it. Yep, that would be helpful if I didn't mistype that. All right, and let's see where we're looking at. I am really curious. I think all of our competitors are going to be great. I want to see Hanuk versus Dad Radish, see what that looks and feels like before we wrap everything up for tonight's event. Zangief versus Guile. Again, on paper, Guile wins this, but we have seen crazy things from Hanuk. right, and as we're looking at this, Hanuk's got the lead on round 1. Dad Radish is pushing those normals, though. Still testing the waters, what works and what doesn't. And there's your SPD. Hanuk takes match 1.
You win.
Again, we gotta give kudos to Dad Radish, all right? We are seeing someone in real time learn what proximity guarding looks and feels like. You've seen it here in practice. In Street Fighter 2, if you whiff a normal at a certain range, you get locked into block stun. And so there's a strategy with walking forward, not holding back on the stick or the D-pad too preemptively, because otherwise you get stuck and Zangief gets to have his way with you. And we're seeing Dad Radish learn that. Loving that low forward punish from Dad Radish. Hanuk again, fearless. He doesn't care about his life lead or life loss, because he's going to come in here, do the splash, and either do the SPD or the roundhouse. Can still be anyone's game, though. As we've seen, Magic Pixels are the bread butter of this game. Oh, this is tight. It's getting spicy. Now that's just showing off. He didn't have to SPD, but he did anyway because he felt like it. Where is our God of Grunts? We definitely need him. Whoa! Flash kick out of nowhere. Flash kick out of nowhere. Roundhouse even. But you know what? Desperate times, desperate measures. And the second time it works. Oh, I love that. Dad Radish does not care. He is gonna just do it. Oh, right into the throw. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Neutral jump into roundhouse. Love to see it. Neutral jump into strong. Why not? Just keep doing the flash kick. We're desperate. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Hanuk met it air to air with his own roundhouse. Great game all around, competitors. Excellent work. Let's see how Thrill Hell versus Luna is going. There's Luna once again, applying that pressure with that Dictator. Dictator is the best character in the game, and it's really tough against Balrog, for sure. Last but not least, Depressed Met fan, Shaq the Great. Ryu versus Ken. It couldn't be a more better final match. Plus, we got the best colors right here. Ryu with the gray and the blue bandana, Ken in the black gi. Shaq the Great has learned so much in such a short period of time. And Depressed Met fan, well, he's settled his vendetta against Guile. So is he gonna coast or is he gonna fight? Looks like he's using that corner pressure. Shaq the Great learning the utility of Ken's Hurricane Kick. Depressed Met man sticking to the zoning of the fireballs. The first round lead. And Shaq the Great. Oh, there you go. Yes, that's right. In CE, if you're close enough, fireballs don't clash. No, they just cross each other up. A quirk they fixed in hyper fighting. I love Shaq the Great's use of a Hurricane Kick as an anti-air. Pressman fan using that proper normal zoning to keep people out. There's that roundhouse. Oh, close roundhouse, but takes the loss. 1-1. Who's going to take the first game? Let's hear it in chat, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ryu versus Ken, one of the hypest matches you'll ever see. This is what Street Fighter's all about. Make some noise. Shout for Depressed Met fan. Shout for Shaq the Great as they close out this tournament for us. Yeah, Gotta Grunts, thanks for subscribing. We love you, man. Say his name and he appears. Street Fighter's actually about cheap tick throws. Meanwhile, Homer Vin says it's about honest footsies. Yeah, maybe. Shaq took the first match against Depressed Met Fan. Look how far Shaq has come. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, seeing real learning in real time. We celebrate those. Now, Depressed Met Fan might blame the color choice, but I think that's the best color Ryu's ever had. Oh man, Tap the Great just does not care. We are seeing such an oppressive force from Shaq.
Round 2, fight!
This is the scrubbiest game since World Warrior. Oh, Shaq's losing some life. Depressed Met Fan might be getting the flow of Shaq's offense. And if he does, he's got the win. Oof. You know, we say oftentimes Street Fighter 6 is a very mentally stacked, exhaustive game, but I would argue so is CE. And we just saw that right here, ladies and gentlemen. Once you dial into a specific routine and you've figured out your opponent's routine, you punish him for it. It's 1-1. Shaq could take this. Will Shaq take it? We're seeing the mental fatigue of playing a long tournament. Going for that low forward and the fireball. Probably a media attempt. Depressed Met Fan doing that standing jab into roundhouse or low forward block string. Really effective. Wake up throw. There's a throw again. Oh, the offensive. Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have a game. That's dirty. That's Street Fighter 2, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We have a game. 1-1, friends. Shaq the Great thought he had it. But nope.
Round 1.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't the grand finals, but it's the last match we're watching today for this round-robin tournament. Ooh, nice option with the standing light kick as an anti-air. Oof. Crouching fierce punch as a prompt 2 dragon punch. Both players have leveled up so significantly since we started. You love to see it. Really figuring out each other's flow. Really dialing each other in. Depressed Met Fan's down a little bit. Practicing the neutral jump to kind of get back to commit to something, but he won't do it. There's the throw, evening out the life lead. Shaq is playing very conservatively. Lands from the hurricane kick into crouching jab. Now that's an anti-air I've never seen before.
Round 2, fight!
That's right, Casey. Frame data in this game is very wild. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, the dirty throws. 1-1, 1-1. Anyone's game. This is tight. This is intense. This is Street Fighter. This could be it. Hurricane kick for hurricane kick. Very evenly matched. Fireball battle to death. Going for the jump in from Depressed. Shaq practicing that zoning. Shaq dialing in his inner Depressed. He technically has a little bit of a lead. Wait, no, I think Depressed does. Oh, now Shaq has the life lead. Now he doesn't. and depressed Met fan wins it by a hair. Ladies and gentlemen, Street Fighter. Wow. Wow, that was incredible. That was amazing to see. Let me tell you, I am just so pleased to watch all of our competitors today. We've got our 7-round matches. You'll see on my screen, you'll see some standings here, and it looks like on paper, Lunatic is ahead. Hanuk is up by just a little bit behind that. Let me refresh my screen to make sure. Nope, that's correct. So Lunatic's ahead by 14. Hanuk is 13. Depressed 10. Ash is 7. Again, for a guy who left the tournament halfway through, he's doing pretty good. Shaq the Great at a respectable 6. Thrill at 6. Gionellis showing that veteran skill with that Dragon Punch at a 5. And Dad Radish being strong with the Guile Energy with a 3. But here's the thing. We've been doing trivia this entire time, haven't we? And trivia can really change the scores, can't it? But you see, I happen to know the scores and what things are looking at, but we still have one more opportunity, one more question for our competitors to answer who are still in the chat right now on the hardest trivia question yet so far. And this particular trivia question is so difficult that if you get this right, you get 3 points for getting it right. And if you are the first person to get it correct, you get a whopping 5 points, ladies and gentlemen. 5 points. Let me repeat that. If you get this question right, you get 3 points. And if you're the first person to get it right, you get 5 points. And this one's a doozy. This one's going to be tough. Are we ready? Here we go. So, Yoko Shimomura was the lead audio designer and composer for Street Fighter II on the Capcom PlaySystem 1. You may know her today as famed composer of such titles as Front Mission, Final Fantasy XV, Live a Live, Radiant Historia, and a little indie game series called Kingdom Hearts. But before working on fabled RPG standards and classics, she got her start at Capcom in the arcade division. All of the sound effects for this game came from her, including Sonic Boom, downsampled to sound masculine, and that screaming, Shoryuken voice as Ryu, and Ken tear through the sky. That's right, that was a woman's voice during all of those sound effects. She focused on volume balancing. She was focused entirely on ensuring the sounds would be explosive and catch your ear as you walked by the machines, and you could feel the impact of each hit while playing. She was obsessive in this regard, always thinking about what the player would experience and how best she could keep Street Fighter II in people's minds in order to compete with the dying arcade industry of 1992. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 1992. The arcades were not doing well, but her job in 91, 92 was to make Street Fighter relevant and be the biggest game ever. She even composed some of Street Fighter II's biggest hits, including Ken's theme and Guile's theme. You can thank her for Everything Goes with Guile's theme, by the way. Sadly, Yoko was not invited back to work on later versions of Street Fighter, including Super Street Fighter II. Instead, separate audio engineers designed that game and translated Yoko's compositions to the new and improved, in scare quotes, I'm using scare quotes for that one, Capcom PlaySystem 2 hardware, the Q Sound Stereo. Most of the tracks received some kind of a pitch difference. So the CPS2 Q Sound system has a different range or register of audible notes that sound pleasing. So most of Yoko's tracks were transposed to be put into a different key. If you compare same titled tracks in both the CPS1 FM synthesis hardware and the CPS2 Q Sound amplifier hardware, you'll hear this very plainly. However, ladies and gentlemen, there is one track that Yoko composed purposefully with an offbeat time signature, i.e. the rhythm or the tempo, on the original Capcom PlaySystem 1 hardware that on paper looks wrong and incorrect, but on the CPS1 hardware actually works and is in sync with itself. The audio engineers that worked on Super Street Fighter II did not know this and chose to fix it. This fixed version of the track has a simplified rhythm and became the basis for all future renditions of the song, including remakes and remixes later in later games. In no other version of Street Fighter, other than the Capcom PlaySystem 1 original release, which we've been playing so far, which is what we've been playing, does this song officially appear in its original rhythm and tempo. So my question to my competitors, for 3 points for a correct answer and 5 points if you're the first person to get it right. What track did Capcom fix from Yoko's original CPS-1 Vision? Was it Ryu's theme, Blanca's theme, Sagat's theme, Bison Vega or Dictator's theme, Zangief's theme, or Dalsim's theme? Go ahead and take your time and answer. Go ahead and take your time, our competitors who are still playing. Get some things in the chat as well. So once again, yep, that's right. A Games Fighter, she did all the voices for the original version of Street Fighter 2. You are hearing her scream those sounds. Getting some question marks, getting some definitive answers. We got a couple answers here in chat. So again, if you get the right answer, you get 3 points. If you get the right answer and you're the first person to get the answer, you get 5 points. Let me make sure we have all of our competitors here. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing 6. We're missing Guian Ellis, but I know Guian Ellis had to step away for a little bit, so I think that might be what we're looking at here. Here's the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is Blanca's theme. Blanca's theme in the original Capcom Play System 1 hardware plays in a very bizarre time signature that actually comes in at the wrong time for the melody. They actually don't sync in with each other. But the truth is, with the FM synthesis and the synthesizers that were on that particular hardware, Yoko knew that it would work and would give it this off-putting kind of Brazilian vibe. The inspiration for this track basically was she was really struggling to find Blanca's theme. She really didn't have a clue how to do it. She wanted to be true to the stage. She wanted to be true to the character, but she couldn't find something that was unique or interesting. On a train ride to back home from work, from Capcom Japan offices, she heard the train make a certain rhythm, a certain sound. Dun, 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 dun. And that stuck in her mind so much, she got off the train, went back to the office late at night, humming that pattern over and over and over again to her, until she wrote it down in FM synthesis and transposed it that night. And once again, if you hear that song in any other version of Street Fighter or any other game, they make it a 3/4 rhythm. It's much simpler, but on the original CPS-1 hardware, it is far more complicated. So, Thrillho is putting up the tallies now, but we've got some interesting stories. It looks like B, Blanca's theme was the correct answer, and Hanuk got it right for 5 points. Let's see what that tally looks like, friends. Again, ignoring my screen for just a moment, Thrillho is coming up with the slides right now for me, the scores. As he's doing that, I want to thank every single competitor for being in this event. I want to thank all of you for taking your time on your Sunday to play some Street Fighter with us. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. Some just unadulterated joy as we saw Lunatic and his crazy Bison, Hanuk and his crazy Zangief, Depressed Met fan settling that beef against Guile, Ash sticking to fundamentals, Shaq the Great learning Ken and doing great, Thrillho learning Balrog, Guian Ellis sticking to his Ken fundamentals, and Dad Radish learning how to walk forward and throw sonic booms with Guile. And the final tally, ladies and gentlemen, Hanuk at 16 points with the clutch win with the final bit of trivia. Luna at 13 points. Metfan with 9. Ash with 8. Dad Radish 6. Shaq 5. Gio 4. And Thrillho 4. So it looks like, Hanuk, you are our winner for today's tournament. As a thank you, I want to make sure that I get this up for you. 1 second. Oop. What you are seeing on your screen right now has not been seen by many people. This was official artwork done for a Japanese magazine done by Shui, the animation company. And this is a draft of that artwork published just recently this year. You cannot get a hold of this artwork. Only one person owns a copy of this art. It is in someone's private archives, but it was posted with permission from the artist. And you are seeing now official artwork made for Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. I want to give a huge shout out to our winners for today. Big thanks to Hanuk. You are a grand champion, our world champion for this first series of the World Warrior Federation. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your commentator. Once again, I want to thank Thrillho for organizing this event, designing everything that you're seeing on your screen, making it a safe environment for everyone. It's been my absolute pleasure. Congratulations to my winners and congratulations to all my players, because no matter what your score was, as far as I'm concerned, you're a winner. You go in, day out, you put in the work, you put in the grind, and you're here because you love your partners, your friends, your family members. You love video games, you love boomers, and that's what we're all about. So thank you all for tuning in, my Twitch family. Thank you all for competing. And this won't be the last time you'll be seeing scare quotes on the mic when it comes to Street Fighter and classic Street Fighter games. Thank you again to all our competitors. I'm wishing you a great night. Have a good one.